Welcome to the Andy Meadows Show. We've got a good roundtable coming up where we'll discuss My Ghost, the J.P. Morgan sex scandal, ridiculous Trump appointees, Devil Wears Prada 2, and more. But first, your headlines. Spirit Airlines went out of business this week with their last flight touching down just after midnight on Saturday. Sad news for pilots who make it feel like it's their first time landing every time they land a plane. Never a good sign when everyone in the cockpit cheers after a successful landing. In the Oval Office this week, President Trump was asked by a reporter whether he'd considered wearing a bulletproof vest after the third attempt on his life. Trump responded with a joke about how he couldn't stand to be 20 pounds heavier, then added, plus the next staged assassination attempt isn't scheduled until 2 weeks before the midterms. Obviously, I'm joking. We're not going to have midterms. Prisons are attempting to crack down on the use of drones to smuggle drugs, escape tools, and even crab legs to inmates, meaning convicts will have to go back to the old way where you didn't want to ask how those crab legs got in. Up the butt of a loving relative, Chris.
Gross.
Mother's Day is next Sunday, and like I do every year, I'll get my wife and the mother of my children exactly what she wants. A nap and 30 minutes without me yelling from the other side of the room asking where something is. Please welcome to the round table a man who our Uncle Marvin thinks is the funniest person on the planet because he said, "You call this a party? Where's the naked ladies?" when he was 4. My brother Chris Meadows.
It was a good line.
It was a good line. I think we were at some lame birthday party.
For me, I think.
Pedernales State Park. Johnson City, Texas. Look at the memory on this guy.
Wow. I probably could have told you it was Texas.
And I could have made up all that. I don't know if that's actually where it was.
That's it, is that we don't ever call you on your, okay, so it was Wednesday, and all right.
You got to say it confidently, man. No, I'm pretty confident that's where it was because we were, Marvin had their RV there. We were all hanging out.
I remember there were no strippers.
Yeah,
so.
There were. I don't know that you want to see a stripper in Johnson City, Texas, if there are any. So I was putting Annie to bed the other night, and after she said goodnight to me, she looked over my shoulder and said, "Good night, ghost."
Oh,
Man.
Do you think she's messing with you?
I mean, she's starting to seem like she has that inner genetics for sure, but I don't know, man. She just said it seems so real. It gave me chills, dude. And it creeped me out because, I mean, not just to say it, but to look over my shoulder like which if that's a prank, a less than 3-year-old's pulling, that's
pretty good. Or you're right, you've got a ghost following you around on your shoulder.
Well, and Jill had just said, "Hey, I don't think we haven't had any ghost activity in a while." Because she's like, "Is it firing your hot button still?" I'm like, "No, it's bored of podcasting." So we hadn't had any stuff happen in a while, and then she has to throw that out there, and I'm like, "Oh God, what have y'all been up to?"
It is another week in Alaska, basically just working and cooking and waiting for the snow to melt. I think today might be yard cleanup day, finally.
Oh, okay, because the breakup or
all the stuff that sat there in the snow over the winter time is now needing to be picked up.
I did all my I mowed my lawn yesterday, and the frickin' weed eater runs out of stuff halfway through, so I got like half of it weeded. Weed eating's the worst part, hands down. I could mow all day, but the frickin' weed eating sucks. Especially since I don't have a real edger. So I got to do that ghetto thing with the...
I think you're trying too hard. Just get close enough. It's going to grow back.
That's true. Well, we got HOAs, man.
Oh, that's stupid. HOAs are the worst.
Yeah, we got a topic about that later because true evidence that HOAs are the worst. Hey, first off, did you hear about the J.P. Morgan assistant who accused his attractive female boss of forcing him to be her sex slave?
I have not heard this.
Well, of course, it made huge headlines because she's a good-looking lady, and obviously that's not the normal way the story goes. But
Sure.
Since then, it comes out that he had Googled, according to the New York Post, he had previously Googled how to do this same thing to a male boss in the past at another company. So it sounds like he's probably, shocker, he made that up.
It's a fantasy is what you're saying? He's just...
Yeah, sounds like something.
I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen. I've seen movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Horrible bosses.
But yeah, so it looks like a false accusation. Even though it's a false accusation, it looks like she got 400 resumes from horny dudes sent to her immediately.
You don't even have to pay me, lady. I'll just come work for you.
Yeah, and I'm sure they were all saying that. What's the worst coworker behavior you've dealt with?
Well, I mean, I work with computers and equipment. I don't generally have a whole lot of people around me. So that's nice.
So none of them have ever harassed you?
No, I've not been forced to become a sex slave, unfortunately.
I did. Did I? I may have told this story in the podcast before. When I was a waiter, when I was 18 or 19, when Scott and I worked at this restaurant, there was, and it wasn't my boss, it was a female coworker that was probably twice my age that she would grab my butt, and I don't have a butt, so that's kind of, but yeah, she would just, I guess it was her way of just throwing it out there and that she was interested or something, but I would ask her to stop, she wouldn't stop. And then I went to the manager, and I was like, can you just say something to her? I'm not trying to get her fired. Just tell her to stop doing it. And the guy was like, come on, man. You can't handle Tammy? I'm like, please, man. But that was the 90s. That's how it was treated back in the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like sexual harassment from a woman to a man is not as respected. It's like, eh.
Yeah, and it's obviously not, I wasn't in any threat.
I mean, you were pretty little. She probably could have taken you.
She was
I don't know who it is, but I'm going to go with she probably could have taken you.
I was a foot taller than her. Easily.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Our top comment. We had a ton of good comments. I turned down the thing. We had a ton of good comments, including a lot of people weighed in on the top 5 ridiculous comedies, throwing out some that we mentioned.
Missed all the Anchorman movies.
I know. There were so many that we threw out that we missed. Hot Shots was one somebody mentioned. No, did you throw that one out?
I think Hot Shots we mentioned.
I think you did.
Or Hot Shots Part 2.
And then there's Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Oh, that is a good one.
Yeah.
One of the first appearances of Dave Chappelle on film.
I know. Mm-hmm. White men can't jump. After he, Blinken, wasn't that the guy's name?
Blinken was the blind dude, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We don't need audio. So these were on, but the top comment has to go to this person, even though it might anger you. This was when we were talking about the Trump assassination attempt. Christine Clemens.
Did you see the video they released of the guy getting through the security checkpoint? Just runs.
Man,
and another dude nearly shot his coworker in the process. Like very, very close to it. Because he pulls his gun and starts shooting, and it's like right in line with the other guy standing next to the metal detector. Like that was so close.
So no, I never saw did the shooter, did the attempted assassination guy, did he actually get a shot off?
You mean the paid actor?
Because one of the Secret Service guys got hit, right? Or somebody got hit.
I don't know. I did not see that aspect of it. I saw the dude running with a shotgun in his hands, like just bolts through the security checkpoint. And as he's coming up, one of the officers standing there pulls his gun and shoots. And he's right eye line with the other officer standing across from him. So it's like that was some serious friendly fire danger there. Yeah, but I guess I get it. You got to try to stop the guy, but maybe, jump in front of him instead of, I guess he's got a gun, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not trained in this. Just visually, it seemed like they were all just kind of like packing up, like, all right, we've done this.
You don't expect that, especially the guy sprinting.
Yeah.
Like that. And, well, that's what I wondered, because initially I heard the reports that one of the law enforcement officers, Secret Service, or somebody got hit but was okay, and then they didn't release any details. And I'm like, when they don't release details, sometimes that means it might have been friendly fire accidentally, and they just don't want to say that initially. Yeah. But who knows? But anyway, so Christine Clemens said, what a joke, calling an assassination attempt. He didn't even make it through into the dinner. The dinner was all locked and secured. He was in the damn hotel, for God's sake. Stop calling it an assassination attempt. It was a crazy just thinking he could get in. Okay, well, he had a shotgun and he had a pistol.
I mean, yeah. So what was he? He wasn't going duck hunting. This isn't,
Yeah, I know. I don't get the anger that people are calling an assassination. Clearly, he was there to try to assassinate the president.
Well, you assume the president. Maybe his ex-wife was at the dinner. But there's probably easier ways of getting to her. I get it. Yeah, it was most likely for Trump.
And his manifesto made it clear that that's what he said. He was targeting people in the cabinet too. So I think he probably
he was talking about rapists and pedophiles. Did you see that interview where Trump was defending himself for not being a pedophile, and the reporter lady goes, "Oh, you thought he was talking about you?"
Yeah, that was that was good on the fly thinking on her part. But I did think it was kind of like, I don't agree with reading that, because I don't like giving publicity to somebody who does that. Yeah, so I think you didn't have to read it. So I get his anger there and getting annoyed, but obviously he went over the top with how he handled it going after her. But yeah, I wish she hadn't read that. But otherwise, I thought it was a really good.
I have never actually had to say the words "I'm not a pedophile." It's never come up in mine.
As a general rule, if you're having to say that, that's not good. So she's
my T-shirt clearly says I'm not a pedophile. What's the big deal?
That's you've seen the Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode where Danny DeVito's character comes running in and says, "We got to write a song about how we're not pedos, how we're not diddling kids," and they're like, the fastest way to make people think you're diddling kids is to write a song about how you're not doing it. So Devil Wears Prada 2 had a huge opening weekend.
Good.
The first Devil Wears Prada 2 was an example of a girl movie that I love.
Mm-hmm.
Although, because I think it was relatable, because the boss dynamic, everyone's had a bad boss.
Sure.
Everyone's been too married to their job.
And you've been a bad boss, so you kind of relate to that too.
I've definitely, at points in my career, not been the best.
But also, I mean, Stanley Tucci, come on. He makes anything he's in.
And Meryl Streep.
Yeah. She's a phony.
I have you don't want to get the that crowd after you. And I have a crush on Anne Hathaway. I think she's amazing.
Emily Blunt, come on.
Hey, you got any girl movies that you secretly love?
Secretly? Like, I'm not embarrassed by enjoying a nice How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days kind of movie. What?
Yeah.
Mean Girls? Sure.
Mean Girls is good. Yeah. How to Lose... I don't know about the other one. But French Kiss is one of mine.
I don't think I know that one.
Rom-com. It's Meg Ryan.
Oh.
Very good. Can't think of the guy's name. What is it? Kevin Kline. Kevin Kline and Meg Ryan.
Gotcha. I've never seen it. I'll have to give it a watch.
He plays the angry Frenchman, who's a philanderer, not looking for love.
Of course he is, because he's a Frenchman.
She wins him over. And Sleepless in Seattle, although Jill kind of ruined it for me because that's her favorite movie, so she watches it like nonstop. So I've seen it way too many times.
Or but like When Harry Met Sally.
When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
Another great one.
See, these aren't just girl movies. They're just movies.
Yeah. But maybe I'm getting old.
Just because there's no action, like no firearms go off.
Maybe I'm getting old, but I feel like the 80s, 90s rom-coms were better at making us men like them too. I feel like the newer ones are not.
I couldn't tell you a new rom-com.
Well, Jill, I see him in the feed, and sometimes she knows not to watch them with me because I kind of Mystery Science 3000 them and make my commentary throughout them. But when I catch a glimpse of some of them, I'm like, this doesn't hit as well as the ones in the 80s and 90s.
Well, if these are the ones that are made for Netflix, I was reading a story, and I think maybe it was Matt Damon that was talking about it, how if you're writing something for a streaming service, they tell you have to repeat your point over and over again because people aren't actually paying attention. They're on their phone or whatever. And
yeah, they actually have a scientific
you make
formula.
It for, okay, well, they'll watch in 15-minute blocks, so you got to repeat yourself over again. Like programming for radio. They haven't heard this one in a while, so put it back in there.
Yeah. No, they actually have a scientific formula how often you're supposed to mention, and I can't remember what it is, 10, 15 minutes or something like that, because we're all on our frickin' phones the whole time.
Yeah.
That's what I put my phone down when I'm watching TV, but the wife doesn't. And then she asked me several times, and I'm like, if you would pay attention, put your phone down and pay attention, you wouldn't have to.
Well, see, they're writing for your wife now. They're like, oh, were you not looking earlier?
Well, and they tell you like now, so I have to like narrate when it's like, okay, it's 2 years ahead, or now they're in a different country, because they just show it on the screen and they don't say it. So, yeah, that's a whole thing. So speaking of the HOA being terrible, a woman was held hostage in her home before SWAT teams shot through her window to come in and rescue her from a home invasion, this guy that held her hostage. And within days, her HOA threatened to fine her because she hadn't fixed her boarded up windows, because they shot through all the windows to come save her. And the HOA's like, you got to do something about those windows. Like, as she's recovering from. Yeah. HOAs
I am lucky. I when we were buying our house, we were specifically like, we don't want any HOAs. These dues are stupid. And the neighborhood's fine. Like, what's the big? I don't understand these people that run the HOAs have nothing else going on in their lives. They got mad with their moderate amount of power, and they're like, oh, you got to follow all these rules. And pay us a monthly fee.
They started with good intentions to keep people from doing wacko stuff with their house that affects your property value. But they've gotten to, because you hit the nail on the head, the kind of people that get on the board of these things are, it's all Karens, 100% Karens, and whatever the male equivalent of a Karen is. That's all that are on these boards. They're the worst people. I mean, we get in fights with them all the time.
The male equivalent of a Karen is an Andy. Have I heard that? Is that the
I don't believe that's what it is. I think I should Google that, but I'm not going to. But
Ken or Chad or something.
It's got to be Ken, right? Or
yeah, probably.
No, it can't be Chad. It's got to be Ken. But we have a spot in our front yard that gets too much direct sunlight, and so it kills the grass. It's like too much sun. It kills the grass, and every year we have to replace that grass because they send us a thing saying there's this dead patch in your front yard. And we have water restrictions here in Frisco, like everywhere in Texas has water restrictions. So then you got to get an exemption from the city. Otherwise, you get a $100 fine for overwatering it when you put the new grass. It's a freaking nightmare. And every
can you
year
just use like the AstroTurf fake grass?
I don't think you can, but that was one of the things I threw out. And that's apparently not allowed. Not in the front. You could do that in the back, but.
When we lived in Hawaii, I had one where there was it was a condo complex, so there was full on landscapers out there every week doing all the maintenance on everything. But because my front porch was fenced in and there was a little tree that had started growing and it just got big. And I was like, it's just a tree. And then I get the note, like, you got to deal with this thing. You got to chop this thing down. I'm like, you got landscapers here every day, but it's on the wrong side of the fence. And so I get out there with a Sawzall and I'm doing it. And I find out the thing's just got thorns all over. It's the worst.
Did you see the guy that his HOA was coming after him because he had his boat in his driveway? And they're like, you can't do that. You can't have the boat in the driveway. It's unsightly. They don't like seeing it. So he parked it in the garage and then painted on the garage an exact image of the boat.
Of the boat, yeah.
He's like, didn't put that in the rules.
Yeah, I like when people get petty about it and they're like, all right, I'm going to find a way to screw you anyway.
Yeah, anyone that's on the opposite side of an HOA, I'm going to side with them, regardless of how ridiculous.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're like, yep. Well, what's dumb is, you own the house. It's your house. Why do people get to tell me what to do with my stuff?
Dude,
That's what
there
I hate.
are HOAs in Texas that if it's in a country club, like the area of a country club, in the agreement when you buy the house, you have to become a member of the country club. You have no choice. And those country clubs, the entry fee in some of them are just insanely high.
Yeah.
So it's just like part of it. Yeah. Freaking nuts. Do you think it's weird when loved ones post on dead people's socials?
Yeah, I would guess so, but maybe it's just I'm just trying to remember you and have a conversation with you.
I think there's a window where it's acceptable. Like you can do it for a certain amount of time, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of a nice way to remember. But after a while, like 3 to 6 months, I think is what you got.
Oh no, I would say like if it's like the anniversary of their death, and you go, I'm thinking of you today.
Once a year exemption anniversary. Other than that, it's because it's really weird as you're scrolling through your feed because it kind of like, oh, I thought that guy passed away, and then you're like, oh man,
oh yeah, he did.
Oh yeah, no, you're that like, I don't know. I think it's weird.
What's going to be weird is that as more and more people pass on that have it, like there's going to be zombie accounts forever. You know, like how long do you keep a dead person's account on your site?
Yeah, but if you're the social platform, you're like, I don't want to close it. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I think at some point, I think the status should just switch to dead. They should just have a dead status. And it's like the count's still there, but they're dead. Like, do something with the picture that makes it obvious. I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
You want them to replace it with a tombstone instead of their profile picture.
Like relationship status. It should just change the status to dead.
To dead. And then you can't friend them anymore.
So we were watching House of Guinness. Anytime I watch something from that period, I immediately think, man, not that I have the money for this, but having the servants has got to be the greatest. You know?
Yeah.
And we're almost close to, like, what's your price point where you're going to get in on getting a robot servant?
I'm not as price point sensitive to that as I am. Let's see how it goes for a little bit. I saw a video of this company in, I think, California, maybe it was San Diego, that's building the humanoid robots. And they got into where they're making one an hour. And so they released a little video about it. And it looks like iRobot 100%. It looks like that Will Smith movie. They've got them lined up and the robots are walking from one building to the other to get into their little charging pod. And it's freaky, man. It's dystopian sci-fi. Like, you're making these things. Why would you make this video that looks like these things are lining up to attack people? Like, you better buy this or you need one of these sentry guard things. But I will say in the video, all of the robots were still being put together by people. If your robots are that good, why aren't they putting together the robots? Yeah. I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I think you definitely got to you can't get like version 1. You got to get, version 1's going to accidentally kill a couple people.
Yeah. Or set the house on fire or something.
Yeah, you got to go with version 2 there. But eventually they're going to get cheap enough that we could all
But also, like, why do they have to be humanoid shaped? Like, can't they be something more specific? Like, this is the task they do. Like the
God
one from the
knew what he was
Jetsons.
doing.
I want the Jetsons made where she has like the vacuum cleaner for legs, and you know.
No, God knew what he was doing, man. This design works well. That's why every time they try to come up with something else, they just land on, they just got to make it look like a person. Plus, they're all perverts, and they're all thinking of the point where we get to hook up with these.
Okay, fine. It's got to have articulating arms and opposable thumbs, but does it need a head?
Yeah. I'm with you. Hey, have you been following the Mike Vrabel, Diana Rossini cheating scandal? That's the Patriots head coach and the NFL reporter.
I have not, no.
So, first, this was a couple weeks ago, the story broke, and they're both married, and he was for Combine, the NFL Combine. He was out there. He was at a hotel about an hour away from where everything was going on, and somebody gets pictures of them hanging out by the pool, hanging out by the jacuzzi, looking cozy. They both come out categorically deny it, say the pictures are out of context. You can't see there's other people in the background, blah, blah, blah. But then additional pictures come out of them. So this has been going on for years. The coach is in marriage counseling now. He even skipped the NFL draft, and she resigned from the Atlantic. But it's the thing that's most interesting to me is this is an enormous story because they went to the Super Bowl, the Patriots, right? I mean, that's a big, and he's the head coach of the team that went to the Super Bowl. But lots of the main sports talk guys are suspiciously quiet on it because I don't know if it's because there's plenty of other NFL coaches who might be doing similar things and they don't want to wade in those waters, or if they just know both of them and they don't want to like get in the middle of a gossipy type story. Who knows?
I mean, how can you not just go, that's an AI. Those are AI photos. It's not really me. That's the thing. AI's getting good. Like, somebody's faking that. But you're saying, like, I mean, players when they're on the road, like most of them are like, these are the rules. I'm on the road, so we're not married while I'm on the road. I figure the same thing probably applies for coaches. Because you think coaches have to be keeping it in the pants when the players are slinging it around?
Well, number one, the hours of a coach. To convince your wife to let you take an NFL head coaching job where you're basically not going to see her for about 9 months of the year, because the hours those guys work is insane. Then to also say, by the way, I'm also going to be hooking up with whomever I want to when I'm on the road. I think that's a tough sell. I don't think the NFL coaches are doing that at the same rate as the players, for sure. So a former Grapevine, Texas, where I used to live, Chick-fil-A employee was charged this week with stealing $80,000 in a fake mac and cheese refund scheme after surveillance footage revealed him ringing up roughly 800 fake orders at a cash register and then immediately refunding them to his personal credit cards. So he didn't even try to spread this out over time.
And he didn't. He was bringing it in as they were cash sales and then refunding it via credit card, or
I guess that's what he did. It wasn't real clear on that. But did he just think, they'll buy this?
It's not a sophisticated crime, is what you're saying.
Well, did he think, they know I love mac and cheese. They'll think this is legit. But yeah, he got multiple felony charges and is in a ton of trouble.
Because nobody would believe that anybody would not like the mac and cheese. Is that the thought process? Like,
sending back mac and cheese? Their mac and cheese is pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. So our anonymous question. Got a good one today, Chris. I think our viewers and listeners are finally honing in on who we are. Melissa in Vermont asks, my husband and I met at a gym and connected in part because we were both really into fitness. Fast forward 10 years and he started to really let himself go. How do you tell your husband he's getting fat without hurting his feelings?
No, you can't. You're going to hurt his feelings. That's just, you got to decide what's more important to you.
him not being fat, or
you phrase it as, "Hey, hun, I've noticed that I'm worried about your health, and I want you to be around for me."
Boom.
So it's not about looks. It's not about the fact that I'm no longer attracted to you because you're a fat slob. Maybe don't find better words for that.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the freaking head. That's exactly right. The health angle. But how big are we talking here? That's part of the context. Because if she's seriously into fitness and he's just put on a couple pounds, I mean, I think you let that go, and you get him to get one of those untuck it shirts. You know what
I mean? But that's only in public. You're still going to see his fat butt when he gets out of the shower, and you're like,
that's what a light switch is for, man. If it's just a couple of pounds, you got to let it go. You can't say anything. But if he's really, really let himself go, I think you're right. I think you got to soft pedal it and go with the health angle.
Yeah,
that's always the safe one. It doesn't work the same in reverse. Like if we tried that, I don't think it works. But with
what Stacy does for me is she goes, "Hey, I think I want to go on a diet, and since I'm the one that cooks, she's like, we just need to start eating healthier." So I lose weight just because she wants to eat healthiher. And then I notice I'm eating salad every night, and then she's having ice cream afterward. I'm like, wait a minute.
See, I don't think I've known plenty of people who have tried that approach in any situation, guy or girl. That never works. They're just like, "Oh, awesome, you're getting in shape. Cool." The other person never is like, "Oh, this means I should also get in shape." No, I don't think that one ever works. But yeah, Melissa, I think respond to us and let us know what kind of we need the height and the weight to see if
you're like, he's up 5 pounds, then you shouldn't even be writing this. It's got to be at least 30 pounds minimum.
If not, we need not nude pictures, but we need a you married, what he looks like now picture, or at least the height and weight.
That, and everybody's gonna eventually fall apart. So you know what? You better get on board. He's not going to be hot forever.
The phrase "dad bod" is a phrase for a reason. Although what I don't get about the dad bod thing is because I haven't been able to work out in a long time because I'm so busy between work and the kids. But you chase those things around, it's almost impossible to be fat because they never freaking stop moving.
Well, and the dad bod thing is not real dad. They just want somebody who's slightly chunky. It's not like the guy who's let himself go is the dad bod guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty loosely used. You do finish their food a lot because I don't want to go to waste.
Oh,
you do find yourself doing
on the way to the trash can, you're hammering some chicken nuggets kind of thing.
Well, yeah, because it's also annoying, like when you make, because they'll ask for food and then you'll make it and then they won't eat any of it. It's really annoying. And so then you end up not wanting to waste it. But Rex and Rants.
So I'm on the Apple this month, Apple TV. Signed up because we canceled the Paramount, so now I'm on the Apple.
In case you don't, if you're not a regular watcher or listener, Chris is so cheap that he just subscribes to a subscription platform, streaming platform, and then watches all the shows he wants to watch and then cancels it within 30 days.
It's not necessarily a cheap thing. It's just why would I keep it around paying the $12.99 every month if we're not watching it anymore?
So anyway, what show are you on?
I'm on Shrinking with Harrison Ford as the old curmudgeon. He's playing Harrison Ford, essentially, is what it is.
Yeah,
but very good show. I'm enjoying it a lot. It is Brett Goldstein, who you don't recognize his name, but you know him. He's the guy who plays Roy Kent in Ted Lasso. He created Ted Lasso. He also created this show. He's the writer for him. So kind of the same, feel good vibes.
He's a stand-up?
I have seen his special as I'm going through. I don't think maybe we started it one night and we're like, maybe we should keep respect for him. I don't remember exactly, but
I can't comment. I only saw like 60
that.
seconds, so I don't like to judge someone on 60 seconds.
But his shows are very well done, and I'm enjoying that one. I think we're all up to season 3 now. So.
Jason Segel.
Jason Segel's in it. Yep.
Yeah. So I told you we're watching House of Guinness, which is good. But my real recommendation is a recipe so the other day I was making chicken Alfredo, which I always buy a sauce. I buy Classico, one of their sauces. It's kind of more tomatoey than super creamy Alfredo.
Tomatoey Alfredo? That's not a thing.
I'll put a link
Are you talking about vodka sauce? Vodka sauce is red sauce with cream mixed together.
It's Alfredo sauce, but I'm just saying it's not the whitish. It's a little more towards orange. I'll put the link when I put the recipe.
That's not Alfredo sauce. I'm sorry, but
point being, so I was going to make chicken Alfredo, and I thought, I bet there's a way to just throw all this in the oven and make it a lot easier. And I found this recipe for chicken Alfredo casserole, and it worked freaking perfectly. With you use the sauce, mozzarella, cheddar cheese. You do the noodles and the chicken first before you throw it in. So all that's already cooked. And I added broccoli to it. Got my vegetable in there too. Phenomenal. It was one of the first things that I improvised that Jill was like, this gets added to the rotation.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well
That's
done.
The big thing when you make the rotation. Oh, the one question I forgot to ask you, which I think is an important one, because I'm going to put a poll up on AndyMeadowsShow.com, because I think this could be a running thing that we use for years. But who's the most ridiculous Trump appointee so far?
Man, that is a tough call. But I'm going to say Patel.
Yeah, man, that's...
he just always looks like he's either coked up or something like his eyes where he's always afraid in every photo. Like, what am I doing here?
I mean, he's got a lot of things going for him. The podcaster ahead of time seems very unqualified. Has the country, like, not even a good country singer girlfriend, but just kind of like a up and coming, not so great, that he's flying all over the country to see and take her to her gigs in the FBI jet. Then the hockey pick of him getting boozed. I mean, he's got a lot of things going for him.
Yeah.
On the ridiculous side. So, I mean, definitely one to include in the poll. I think Pete Hegseth got to be in there too, just because the signal, the texting thing, texting the war plans, and then all the press conferences and him this week on getting grilled too. I mean, he's
last week, was it when he was giving a sermon at the Pentagon and was using the Bible quote that Quentin Tarantino wrote for Pulp Fiction?
A real Bible quote. Yeah, that was. So he's absolutely got to be in there. And then Pam Bondi for the Dow's at $50,000. The Dow's at 50 for that line alone has to put her in the upper echelon. And the Kristi Noem with the there's too many to mention, but Kristi Noem,
the challenge. That's
the hooking up with that dude on the jet, Corey Lewandowski, behind both her husband, and then her husband with the fake boobs, and I mean she's got a lot going for, and how many millions she spent? $200 million, wasn't it, on the
ad campaign for herself? Yeah.
So it's so hard to pick a winner, but every one of them's got to be.
And you were watching them do the hearings for the nominees for the Supreme Court. Is that what was throwing this into your head?
Yeah. Well, just because it's so hard to pick, like you said. I mean, between Patel and Hegseth to me are but Bondi and
front runners.
Bondi and Noem have got to be up there.
At least Bondi was somewhat in the field of she was a lawyer before she was there, right? Like,
Right. Yeah.
Cash, what is he doing running the FBI? There's nothing that qualified him to run the FBI.
Well, like Hexeth was in the military, but he wasn't super high up in the military. And I mean, he was a Fox weekend host. You can't even get a primetime like weekday guy. So yeah, those two have got to be front runners. Then the weird, like we've talked about this before, but the folks in the first term had a life after working for him, because I think a lot of them were able to make we're guardrails argument. We're just trying to be guardrails for him and try to keep him somewhat on the path. But none of these folks are going to be able to make that argument, for a life after
so you're thinking of their long-term success right now, and you're going, you're really shooting yourself in the foot?
That's why I think they got to be getting a payout, because there's no way. They all know it doesn't end well. But anyway, so we'll put a poll up, and all those people will be in there, and we'll see. And maybe I'll leave a space to write in, because there's definitely going to be some other ones that come along after these folks that put them to shame.
Well, and Bondi's out, so Gnome's out.
Yeah,
the two guys that are still active we're talking about, but who knows what happens tomorrow.
All right, that's it for this week's show. We'll be back next week with a new episode of the Andy Meadows Show, now available on your favorite podcast platforms as well.